Good evening, everyone. This is your evening news recap, your nightly news podcast on all the news that I come across throughout the day, giving you my take as somebody who aspires to be a politician in the near future. Hopefully, all you guys are doing wonderful. Hopefully, all you guys are doing well. Today is November 20th already, which is crazy, and it is Thursday. Hopefully, all you guys are having a wonderful week so far. If you're new here, though, please consider subscribing. All the support would be greatly appreciated as we are trying to hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. All the support would be greatly appreciated. We're out here trying to build a political platform. So if you're interested in supporting a country that actually cares about its people, providing things like free healthcare, free higher education, and all those kinds of things, drop a subscribe because that's my goal when I make it into politics. And if you're on Substack, please consider subscribing as well. This is a viewer-supported platform, so I would really appreciate all the support. But if not, you can always subscribe for free. I truly do appreciate it. With that being said, though, hopefully everyone is doing wonderful, and let's get into the news from today. Moving on into the Trump, or actually, no, we have a highlight about the Trump today as Trump has signed the Epstein bill into law. Trump has signed the legislation directing the Department of Justice to release the Epstein files. In a lengthy Truth Social post denouncing this, Trump wrote, Jeffrey Epstein, who was charged by the Trump Justice Department in 2019, not the Democrats, was a lifelong Democrat, donated thousands of dollars to Democrat politicians, and was deeply associated with many well-known Democrat figures such as Bill Clinton, who traveled on his plane 26 times, Larry Summers, who was reassigned to many boards, including Harvard, sleazebag political advocate Reid Hoffman, if I could read, Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries, who asked Jeffrey Epstein to donate to his campaign after Epstein was charged, Democrat Congresswoman Stacey Plaskett, and many more. Perhaps the truth about these Democrats and their associations with Jeffrey Epstein will soon be revealed because I have signed a bill to release the Epstein files, as everyone knows. I asked the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, and Majority Leader John Thune, to pass the bill in the House and the Senate, respectively. Because of this request, the votes were almost unanimous in favor of the passage. At my direction, the Department of Justice has already turned ever closer to 50,000 pages of documents to Congress. Don't forget the Biden administration did not turn over a single file or page related to a Democrat Epstein, nor did they ever speak about him. Democrats have used the Epstein issue, which affects them far more than the Republican Party, in order to distract from our amazing victories, including the big, beautiful tax cut bill. He's just going to go on a rant about all the things that he rants about with the bill, the no transgender for everyone, Biden's inflation, Ukraine and Russia, impeachment, and all those things. And he says, "Make America great again," as always. But this is big, and it's also the same rant we see every single time. It really is. That's why I didn't finish reading it. I'm tired of reading the same thing every single time. I mean, it's like a daily occurrence at this point. It really is. Trump is deflecting here. It really feels like it. He always makes these accusations, and then every time it seems like he is in one way or another related to those accusations. I wouldn't be shocked if the Department of Justice holds the files a little bit longer. They have a week to do it, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. A week. But let's get to it, I guess. I just would not be surprised if they just try and hold it to review things and take Trump's name out of it as much as possible. I feel like a lot of it is just going to be a lot of redacted, a lot of black bars, which is not going to be, I guess, entertaining isn't the right word, but it's to get across what I'm trying to say. Entertaining is not the right word, but it's going to be interesting to see how it folds out and how it goes with the Epstein files, and hopefully it can lead to some horrific people on both sides, not just Democrat, both sides, Democrat and Republican, to get arrested and get taken care of, because anyone who touches children should be in jail. In other news, moving on to the Trump administration segment, I just refreshed my tab entirely. Oops. Okay, going on into the Trump administration segment. Trump will meet with Zohran Mamdani. Trump has announced that he will meet with New York City mayoral elector Zoran Mamdani in a post on True Social. He wrote, Communist mayor of New York City, Zoran Kiame Mamdani, was asked for a meeting. He agreed. We have agreed to that meeting that will take place at the Oval Office on Friday, November 21st, which of course is tomorrow. Further details to follow. This will be really interesting. I'm excited to see how it goes, and I hope it goes well. I hope it's live. I hope they broadcast this one because I would like to watch it myself and witness what happens. Good luck to Mom Donnie. I'm really excited. He's a good guy, and I hope he finds the meeting to be successful. Hopefully, he doesn't get the Zelensky treatment, and hopefully, he can actually get his point across and his words across and his view across. I think he's a really good guy, and I'm excited to see what he does in New York City. In other news, Trump says Democrats should be punished by death. A little bit of a quick switch up there, but hey. Trump has posted and reposted a large amount of True Social posts calling to kill veteran Democratic lawmakers who are telling active service members to get legal help. I am refreshing my. I don't. There's some new button on my thing and it's refreshing. Okay, for Democratic lawmakers telling service members to get legal help when it comes to the Trump administration. The first post doesn't seem as bad as Trump said. It's called sedative behavior at the highest level. Each one of these traitors to our country should be arrested and put in jail. Their words cannot be allowed to stand. We won't have a country anymore. An example must be set. President Donald J. Trump. But it gets worse as Trump started to repost things saying, hang them, George Washington would, and even led to a post from Trump himself saying, sedative behavior, punishable by death. Look, I mean, this is a massive deal. The president is calling to kill lawmakers of an opposing party that go against him, which is insane. That's unpresidential on another level. Yet MAGA still cheers for it, and they're going to continue to do so. The president should not be calling to kill anyone in his own country, especially if it's from an opposing party. I mean, that's dictator 101. I mean, there's no denying that. That's just the truth. That is dictator 101, and he's doing it without a care in the world. It's insane, and it needs to stop. Anyways, moving on into our other news segments, Paramount is in talks to fire CNN hosts because Trump doesn't like them. The largest shareholder of Paramount, Larry Ellison, is discussing with the Trump administration about firing hosts on CNN and maybe even CBS that Trump doesn't like. Those like Aaron Burnett and Brianna Keller, according to The Guardian. Many believe this could very well happen due to the connection between Larry Ellison and Trump and the friendship that I guess they have. This is crazy. It really proves it's a pastime for Trump at this point. He does this every day now. It's been like the past 3-4 days in a row now we've reported on something like this. And what are we doing? People just bend over and it's wild. This is what happens when people who are obsessed with money are in charge of important things for society, rather than people who are interested in helping people. And it's not a great look, and it's not a great experience. So, as always, we'll see how this one goes, but I don't think it's going to go very well. In other news, the Coast Guard will now no longer classify swastikas and nooses as hate symbols. The U.S. Coast Guard will no longer be considering swastikas as a hate symbol along with nooses in a new policy taking effect next month. Swastikas and nooses will be considered a potentially divisive under new guidelines. The Coast Guard has refused to comment on it as a whole, but a spokesperson told the Washington Post, "We will be reviewing the language." This is absolutely insane. And before I hear justification saying that it's a religious symbol, with this administration, what they support, who supports this administration, I mean, the Proud Boys actively walk through streets holding Nazi flags. Like, you're not going to tell me that this is based on a religious symbol. A lot of people who support this administration have Nazi flags and proudly carry them around. It's just not how this goes. It's not a symbol for religion in this case. It's a symbol for hate, and it will be used by many. It has been used by many and is going to be continued to be used by many. And our military is actively allowing it, which is insane. It really is. You look back so many years ago, our military fought off, the Nazi Germany in World War II. I don't know why I was blanking on that. But we fought off Nazi Germany in World War II, a movement that proudly brandished the swastika really all over. And now our military is allowing people to brandish it wherever they want as well, which is really insane. Anyways, moving on into our final topic for tonight, the U.S. military has accidentally stormed a beach in Mexico. A diplomatic crisis has started after the U.S. has appeared to have accidentally invaded Mexico. Witnesses reported men showing up and putting up signs writing Department of Defense property. The signs were then removed by Mexico's Navy, and the country's Foreign Affairs Ministry is actively requesting clarification from the United States. The U.S. Embassy claims a contractor accidentally placed this location on a map, which is an interesting thing to claim. This is absolutely wild. I mean, how are you going to mess this up in the first place? It is another country. I really do not get that, especially if a contractor puts something on a map. Clearly, you can see that that's not in the United States. It was a whole different country. What are we doing? Not only is this a logistical embarrassment, but it makes no sense at all. There is no reason why this should have happened or why it should have been the case. Genuinely, what are we doing? We need to lock in here. If we are going to be stupid on the world stage, can we at least not invade countries by accident? Like, come on, guys. What are we doing? With that being said, though, thank you everyone for watching today's episode. I hope you all enjoyed. It has definitely been a very interesting day in the news world. That is for sure. If you're new here, though, please consider subscribing. All the support would be greatly appreciated. As we are trying to hit 1,000 subscribers on YouTube, by the summer, I think we can do it. So if you're new here, please consider subscribing. And if you're on Substack, please also consider subscribing as well. All funds go to me. They help me pay for the things that I need to pay for in college, like my groceries, like clothing, like all of that. It's pretty cheap. I don't remember how much it is. I think it's like $8 a month. It's not a lot at all. And all the support is truly appreciated. Or you could subscribe for $60 for a year, I believe. It might not be completely correct, but I think that's what it's at. With that being said, though, thank you everyone for watching today's episode. I hope you all enjoyed. It's definitely been a very interesting day. But I will see you all tomorrow.